Might be a bit harder than rain, but let's see how good the cover is. All right, all out of time there. Let's go home, see if I destroyed an e-bike or not. Are you someone who finds yourself transporting your e-bikes in inclement weather or really just trying to protect them from road debris during rack transport? Well, Bikase claims to have the e-bike cover for you. Hey everyone, I am JT from eBike Escape, and in today's video, I'm gonna be putting the claims to the test from Bikase and really see how waterproof and road debris protected this cover can be for your e-bikes. Now, how am I gonna do that? Some of you may ask. Well, starting out, first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the cover off the bikes here and show you how to mount the cover, because you're only going to have as much protection as good as your mounting is going to be. I found some little tips and tricks and some things on how to help the cover keep your e-bikes as safe as possible, as well as keep the cover as safe and long lasting as possible. And then thanks to the fact that we are in the spring melt here in Wisconsin, I'm going to go find some puddles as well as most likely some mud. And then finally, let's find out just how waterproof this cover really is by giving it and my van, which are both going to be, I assume, quite dirty, a good harsher than normal rain test at a car wash. Now let's go ahead and pull the cover off. Let's talk price, show you what you get for that price, as well as talk fitment. All right, here is a look at the Bikase cover uninstalled from the bikes. Pretty much a very large beast of a bike cover, and you also get the nice bag there to transport and stuff it into. Bikase advertises as a dual or single e-bike cover, and thanks to those straps and bungees, you should be able to take up all the extra slack if you're just mounting it onto a single bike. As well as Bikase has the size of this cover listed as 80 inches by 36 inches by 50 inches. Now, when I was playing around with this cover before, I had it mounted on a Ride One Up 700 series, as well as an Aventon Pace 500. And I picked these two bikes because they both have adjustable stems, which gives them very high handlebars, which I thought would make it a good test for the overall size and capabilities of the bike cover. Bikase kind of advertises this with the size as if it's one or two bikes, and then kind of gives you the reins to overall determine if it's going to fit your e-bikes and your rack. And because of this extra handle here that sticks out on the end, I needed a cover that was a little bit longer or had a little bit extra space, and the Bikase cover fit great on these two e-bikes. But when I tried to fit my electric Expedition on here, because of the orbiter on the back and the overall size and robustness of the rack, I could not get the cover to fit. Now, I'm sure if I took the orbiter off for maybe a long transport like that, it would have fit no problem. But if you're trying to use this rack for maybe short trips, you may have some different fitment or such issues that you may run into. So before we throw that cover on, I said a couple tips and tricks. Here is thing number one, and this is really to keep the cover as safe as possible. Go ahead and either A, take your pedals off, or wrap them in a microfiber cloth like I did here. This is going to protect and pad some of those sharp pegs from ripping the cover. And then the other place you really want to throw one is going to be up here onto your brake lever and grip end. Now I threw a microfiber cloth up on here, just adds a little bit extra padding with some zip ties. And one of the other things I really love about having a waterproof and debris-proof cover is that I don't have to worry as much about having the batteries out of the bikes and keeping the contacts all nice and safe. This bike, they're located up top, whereas on the Ride One Up here, they're down here on the bottom. Prime place for water and stuff to collect, but because of that cover keeping these bikes enclosed, I don't have to worry about anything getting onto those, as well as I can keep that extra 8 to 10 pounds inside of a flame waterproof Bikase bag, which we also sell at shop.ebikeescape.com store, inside of my vehicle, which I know keeps them a little bit safer, as well as takes that, like I said, little bit extra weight off of the rack back here. Now that the bikes are prepped, let's look a little bit closer at the cover. So here we go. On the outside of the cover, we have this nice license plate mount on the outside. It is also transparent, so your taillights will be able to shine through. Although in some states and most places, I am going to recommend you run additional lights. And then on the back side of the cover here, this is where the real special sauce of this cover comes into play. You have this nice Velcro strip that runs all the way down here to the zippers, and you can unzip the cover in half. But then you get these really nice drawstrings here, which cinch down this spot here. And this cover here is going to sit around your hitch mount on your actual vehicle down there. And that's going to keep all road debris and stuff from going in here and getting up into the bike area. And like I said, we're going to be putting all of that to the test. So before we can do that, let's go ahead and get this installed on the bike rack. And that does up the Velcro part here on the bottom of the hitch part. Now let's go ahead and try and wiggle our way between the van and there so I can show you the little trick that I figured out and how the drawstrings work to keep that water and debris out. So now that we're in here, I like to take, what I did is I was taking the drawstrings, drawing them real nice and tight, and you want to make sure you kind of pull straight out on them, not apart, because you can pull that Velcro part apart. I found it's actually easier to do this from underneath. Give yourself a couple good pulls here, pull them nice and tight together. I just tie a little knot here on the bottom, nothing too tight. All right, now that I've got that nicely snugged down, what I found was my little trick here is I took, because I didn't have a long ski strap, I took these nice ski straps here. So I don't know if you've ever seen a ski strap before. They're really nice. They're rubber. And now I just kind of fed the strap up here into my hitch so that I don't drag it against the ground. Now, the next and last thing to do to this cover is going to be to go around. Over here on the side, you can see we have these buckles. Buckle them in. What that does is it helps take up some of that extra slack so that the cover fits all nicely and it's not, you know, flapping around. So I'm going to come across the top here. This gets cinched down now. One here. And then here is a up close look at that little license plate. It's a little nice Velcro bag. And now if you're going on a nice long road trip, I would also recommend maybe tying these up to the straps themselves. Just stops them from flapping around in the wind over time, getting worn out. And that's pretty much it. That is the cover installed. So what quickly I'm going to do is I'm just going to throw those two extra little bungee straps on there and a little bit of an X pattern, take up some of that little bit extra slack so we make sure that there's nothing flapping around on this. And then let's go find some dirt and mud. There you can see, pretty dirty, lots of mud and debris all over that thing. Found some gravel roads, found some nice melt. Let's go ahead and get some quarters in here and see if we can get her all rinsed off. Might be a bit harder than rain, but let's see how good the cover is. All right, all out of time there. Let's go home. Let's get this cover off and see if I destroyed an e-bike or not, or how clean they are now. All right, back at the house. Let's go ahead and pull the cover off, see what the e-bikes look like. All right, grand reveal. Do we have a swampy mess in here? How much water got in? Let's see. Let's go ahead and bring you in close here. So here's, you can see inside of the cover, overall, really pretty dry. I mean, there is some moisture in here from being on the surface of the cover, but I mean, this cover is drenched. You saw I just scrubbed it. So there was a little bit of moisture that transferred from the outside to the inside. However, there's no major splash marks. And if you look inside in the area here where the batteries go, still completely dry. Everything appears really clean. There is a little bit of moisture. I think it's from flipping the cover up. So overall, yeah, this cover did a great job. Did get a little bit of moisture transfer to the inside, and it could have also been from when I flopped the cover up or opened the zippers. It might have dripped down and in. And none of that debris, you can check here around the main entry point here where it would have been blown in. You don't see any water or dampness that got in. So it is still a very capable cover, and it did exactly what it said it was going to do, which was keep out debris and protect it from, you know, an onslaught of water. I mean, inside here where the Ride 1 Up battery goes, completely dry. And biggest thing for me living here in the Midwest is going to be that we are currently in like springtime where everything melts and there's still salt and stuff all over the roads. And even in the wintertime, once they salt the roads, all that salt and water gets thrown up onto your bikes, and it really creates like a coating, and it also gets into little places, starts causing rust. Obviously, we get a lot of rusty cars here, but having a cover that can protect from that for sub $200 is pretty good. Now, a couple places I wish Bikase might improve. First one's going to be lights. Again, Again, at nighttime, not as big of a deal, but during the day when that light doesn't reflect through the see-through cover very well. And then the other big one that I think Bikase should maybe look into, or maybe you could just use a bungee cord that they did provide if you don't have ski straps, is maybe just throw a ski strap in with the rack so that you can put that extra bit of water protection around that main hitch point there, as it just adds that little bit extra firmness there. It clamps down on it and stops water from being able to get in there. That pretty much wraps up this one, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.